I was surrounded by water on three sides, like
Right.
as like a baby and like a little kid and a big kid and a teenager.
Right.
Right. So this is why I'm kind of like obsessed with the water.
Right.
You know, scuba diving came later in life because I didn't realize that's something I could do here.
Right.
And then, you know, and then we could kind of, you know,
Yeah.
do the whole Coney Island, me, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay?
Right.
So let's do it. This is a peninsula. So I grew up in Seagate. So my name's Adam Riback, and I'm the current executive director of NYSMEA, the New York State Marine Education Association. So what I love about Coney Island is the people. So right now it's the middle of November, so it's freezing. So this is actually like a ghost town, even though you're seeing some people.
That's a ride, right?
Well, it was
No?
a ride. So that was built, I believe, in 1939. And basically you would sit in a chair and they would bring you up all the way to the top, and then they would drop you with a parachute. My apartment was in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
This is me looking down into my apartment as the water was starting to fill it. So this is the water.
This is the ground level of the first floor apartment.
Right. So this is ground level. So the
And your
water.
apartment was in the basement.
Right. So there's your traditional doorknob. So
Right.
so it's now showing that the water is 3 feet now up on the house. So the basement apartment is totally submerged.
Mm-hmm.
The boiler, the water heater, the electric panels, everything.
So you were really trapped in the house at that point. No? Yes?
Yeah. The height of the storm right now. But remember, 2.5 blocks from the ocean here. The sad part is this was like this almost the whole Coney Island. It's crazy. I saw people's roofs. I saw someone's roof floating past me.
Like the whole
This whole area got demolished. So this is the next day.
Oh my god.
I'm actually wearing a wetsuit under my clothes.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So
Oh my
think about it.
God.
Everybody had no electricity, no gas, no hot water. A lot of things were not covered from the insurance, and when you have to rebuild everything from scratch, it's very expensive. So even though she had insurance, she got screwed. Like whatever money she got just wasn't enough to bring it back to where it was. As far as, you know, why am I involved? I'm no radical when it comes to the environment. You know, I'll still once in a while, I'll use a straw. I try not to. It really affects people close to the water, but there's so many people not close to the water that need to understand like what's really happening. The reality is there's a major problem, not just in Coney Island, in the entire world. I try to use whatever influence I have in the community, whether it be the dive community in Manhattan or the local Coney Island community, to just try to raise awareness. So these coastal cleanups that we do is really to just get the kids, you know, out of their homes, off the couch. You know, the kids love it. We keep getting more and more participation on every event. Our last
Starts there?
It starts somewhere around here. The Coney Island Creek has been an environmental problem since the beginning of time here in Coney Island. there was tons of illegal dumping going on all the way in the back of the creek, and our coastal cleanups kind of focus on that area. Back in 2012, Gene Ritter did a big coastal cleanup here in Kaiser Park. Gene was a local scuba diver. Gene was locally famous for a couple of really cool finds in the heart of Coney Island. And Gene just started doing coastal cleanups with NYSMEA. Gene was a volunteer at September 11th, and he contracted a pretty fatal disease. His health was going down pretty rapidly. That was 2018, just a few months before he passed. And he pretty much asked me if I could, keep the tradition going. And so that's what I'm doing right now. And we continue to do 2 events here each year in Kaiser Park, and 2 events we do underneath the Verrazano Bridge. It's called Denise Wharf. So we do 4 cleanups per year. Our mission is really to not just to keep cleaning up the same park, but teach other schools and organizations to do their own cleanup. We got some nice help by Mark Traeger's office and the Parks Department. Let's say a young student that consistently comes and gets involved in coastal cleanups to eventually help fund that scuba certification for the student, called like the Gene Ritter Grant, to help get students certified. Hi.
All right.
Good. How you doing?
Good. I've been cleaning little by little over there. See all this?
Uh-huh.
There's a dock. There's a TV, computers there. There's a lining from the pool.
Okay.
Line or whatever. A whole bunch of stuff.
You think we could get some of the community involved here?
Probably, that's what I like to do. Once in a while I go and get a bag with a little boat and I start cleaning it little by little.
Oh, yeah. It's horrible. Wow.
Yeah, it looks really bad.
This whole side of the creek up, this was all sand here.
You cleaned it up?
No, it's sand here. First of all, this channel was most of it man-made. And supposedly the old Dodgers Stadium, they took it apart and they threw it here. It's all
Field?
yeah, Ebbsfield. That's it.
Really?
Yeah. All the concrete from there is all over the place here. It's in the entire channel filled with it.
I might have to dive in.
Yeah. And there's the jet ski. There's a
Lifeguard.
this originally wasn't like a lot of this was just like wetlands, so they built it all around and they filled that. Mill Basin and Bergen Beach was filled with dirt, and that's why they started building houses. A lot of it's sitting on the water on old swamplands. So to make the channel so the boats come in and come out, they made it deeper and they filled it with concrete. so they don't need to, the sand goes back and forth with the tides. It gets filled up.
The whole channel is full of concrete?
No.
Just the bottom,
Okay.
so it stays deep, because otherwise they have to keep on what's it called, dredging it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Computer screens, TVs.
Yeah.
One day, I got up in the morning, and there was a huge dock floating, huge dock, and it's dangerous. Somebody at night could run it over.
Right.
So I called Department of Protection. They said we're not doing it. We got to call sanitation. Sanitation said we have nothing to do with this. So
Sanitation said you got the wrong number?
no, they said it has nothing to do with them. It's environmental cleanup, so it has to be by DEC.
And what do they say?
They say they'll call sanitation. This is back and forth.
Right.
So I called sanitation department, not sanitation. I called environmental protection. They say you gotta, because it's in the water, it's a hazard. You have to call Coast Guard. I called Coast Guard. They said, can you send us pictures? I took pictures. They emailed it to them. Never heard back. The dock was floating there and probably went further down. They asked me to take a pictures and send it to them. I did. Nothing happened. Nobody picked it up. To Rockaway Reef or Atlantic Reef. It's the same. Atlantic Reef is a little further. It's the same thing. It's old subway cars.
Were you here about during Hurricane Sandy?
No, I was in another neighborhood. We got flooded.
What neighborhood?
Bergen Beach. We got water in the basement that came from the water didn't come from the street, but it came from the sewer back up. All the salt water came up through the sewer system. Because there was so much water in the street, I guess the pressure, and it just went up.
And basically, we just have to find out who the local politicians are, their names, phone numbers, email addresses, find out what local community organizations exist. We need a contact name, phone number, and email. From there,
Okay.
I can incorporate the New York State Marine Education Association, and we could start putting the plan together.
Stop.
Would you know what local organizations exist here that maybe I could just reach out to see if maybe they want to help out once we do it? Mill Basin Civic Association, okay. So to access it by land, you'd have to access it from the Bell Parkway. But possibly he has a boat, so possibly maybe we could use a boat, or maybe we could hire, I don't know, a barge, or I don't know. I appreciate it. That would be awesome. All right, appreciate it. Thanks so much. All right, bye. So she's going to get me the contact information for the Mill Basin Civic Association.
Open. Hold the numbers again.
Oh, here we go. President.
And here's all the elected officials and all their emails. Here.
Take the whole thing?
Yeah, take the whole thing. Get one once a month.
Need to find out who the local politicians are, get their names, phone numbers, email addresses, what local community organizations exist. Maybe there's a street patrol, maybe, this seems like it's probably the bigger one, and it seems like we'll probably get a lot of information once I speak with these people. We use the boat, we use the little boat, we use the jet ski, we go across with big contractor bags, we get people, we fill them up, we start loading the boats, we have people on this side of the land, forming a chain, carrying it up the dock, through the backyard, and, off to the side, and we give it to regular sanitation when they come.
I think the best idea, there's a whole bunch of barges here that do construction.
Mm-hmm.
Hire one of those barges to come up there, and they have cranes, just grab stuff and throw in the barge. That's probably the best way to do it.
I mean, but remember, it's got to eventually be thrown out in the trash.
They throw it out because they're the ones that take the docks out. They replace docks here. So finding a company is not a problem that has a barge that brings the docks and take barge like a garbage barge. They throw so they throw everything on it.
I mean, if we could find that would be ideal.
That's the ultimate, because you can do this in hours.
Mm-hmm.
just cleaning it up. My other idea was, I'd like to put some, plant some trees there. So also, to keep the area nice. And more birds. In the summer, there's so many birds there.
All right, so the Bergen Beach Civic Center wants to get behind it and support us. Since the last time we did some video till today, another major breakthrough. The City Parks Foundation came to us and they want to partner with us. It's my estuary day. So that helps us out a lot because now we don't have to try to raise money. So the tentative date is May 30th.